share with you today about Alaska, doing cruise tours in Alaska, and just absolutely how beautiful and gorgeous it is up in Alaska. Absolutely surprising sometimes to people how beautiful it is. I was one of those people. I actually am from the Pacific Northwest. I've talked about this at different points, which is I'm from Oregon, the west coast of the U.S. So really pretty close to Alaska in the grand scheme of things. And I'm still quite a ways away from Alaska, but um, one of the things with Alaska is that as part of the Pacific Northwest, you've got um, the trees, the mountains, the snow, all of the different things that are similar to Alaska. And I was like, why would I go to Alaska? And then I went to Alaska on my first cruise, on my first Alaska cruise, and I was like, oh, this is why you go to Alaska. Everything is absolutely amazing. It's bigger, it's bolder, it's fresher, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to start with a video about Alaska. I do have a few different videos that we're going to kind of go through, so hopefully you guys enjoy them. This one is a tiny bit dated. It's from 2018, so it's about 6 years old now, but so much of the information here is still pertinent. I wanted to be able to share this with you and show the imagery and share what happens on a cruise tour. So enjoy this video.
Alaska is like no other destination in the world, and you can see it by land and by sea on a Royal Caribbean cruise tour. Our exclusive packages combine an incredible 7-night Alaska cruise with an escorted land tour before or after you sail. With a cruise tour, you'll experience the best of Alaska, from the rugged interior to the breathtaking coastline. Sail on board the recently renovated Radiance of the Seas, now featuring 7 new restaurants, more family amenities, and exciting nightlife. Fresh new features that join the Royal Caribbean signatures that guests have always loved. Our ships were designed for wow. Radiance of the Seas will immerse you in Alaska like no other ship can, with floor-to-ceiling windows spanning the decks for dramatic coastal views. There's more beyond the shore. Take your vacation inland to experience the pristine wilderness and wildlife of Denali National Park, soaring mountain peaks, and the enduring frontier spirit of Native Alaskans.
You kind of see dreams come true and see Alaska once again for the first time through other people's eyes.
On your land tour, travel in style on our deluxe motor coach. And on Royal Caribbean's Wilderness Express, luxury double-decker rail cars that offer 360-degree views up top and gourmet cuisine in the bistro below. Between each leg of your journey, you'll stay in lodges close to the main sites, boasting local charm and all the modern amenities.
People are looking for a big adventure. They're coming here knowing that there's those wide open spaces, the wildlife, the mountains. It's not like any place else.
Many favorite Alaska experiences are already included, along with plenty of time to relax, explore on your own, or try a thrilling optional excursion.
We work closely with these vendors, and I've participated in most all of these excursions. I can come to the guests and say, this is exactly what you can expect. Being on tour with a guest for 3 to 7 days, I begin to realize who they are, what their interests are, and if this is something they're really going to enjoy.
Refreshingly hassle-free and packed with unforgettable moments, your cruise tour promises the adventure of a lifetime, one that only Royal Caribbean International can deliver. Call 1-800-ROYAL.
All right, so I'm going to cut that just a little bit short because you don't need the U.S. North American number to call. And I'll give you some resources closer to the end of the presentation that show you where to get some of the different questions answered that you have and different details. So our Alaska cruise tours are going to be for 24 and 25. We've got 11 different unique cruise tour options, and we'll do those either before or after the cruise. They're going to be numbered just basically 1 through 11. So it'll be 11A and 11B. If it's 11A, that means it's after the sailing. If it's 11B, that means it's before the sailing. So you're either doing the northbound or southbound. All of our cruise tours are going to include Denali. We're going to talk about Denali in a few minutes here for an overnight stay. Plus, you're going to get a tour on every cruise tour. We have 6 different overnight land destinations as well that we travel to between all of the cruise tours that we do. And you're going to see 4 or 5 different ports plus Hubbard Glacier on the cruise portion of the sailing. So here is a map of what our cruise tour is doing. So you can see, I'm going to go ahead and turn on this. You can see here that when you move up into, you leave from Seattle or Vancouver, you're going through our inside passage and then more inside passage. We've got Ketchikan here, which is a common stop, common destination. We'll see some cruises will see the Tracy Arm Fjord or Sawyer Glacier. But if you're doing a cruise tour, you're going to go up into Icy Strait Point and Juneau and Skagway, and then all the way up to Hubbard Glacier up here. We're going to go in and see Hubbard Glacier on pretty much all of our cruise tour options with Radiance. And then over into Seward. From here, you're gonna do this in reverse, right? From Seward, you're gonna go up into Alyeska or Girdwood. You're gonna go to Anchorage. You're gonna go to Talkeetna. You can go to Denali National Park and Fairbanks. So these are some of the different stops that you're gonna experience on a cruise tour. The Wilderness Express train car is included on every single cruise tour, as well as the Denali National Park tour. So lots of different amazing options. Again, Fairbanks, Denali, Talkeetna, Anchorage, Alyeska, and Seward are all on the tours. So, on a Royal Caribbean cruise tour, our guests are going to stay in the finest lodgings that are available in the Alaskan interior. These are going to be boutique and local properties. They're not part of a chain, and they're going to range from like the luxurious Alyeska Resort, whose amenities include a heated pool with mountain views, to the charmingly rustic Denali Park Village that sits along the river there. Our lodge selection is going to actually reflect our commitment to provide matchless accommodations in areas that have absolutely outstanding natural beauty, but also keeping our guests close to Alaska's unique communities. We're going to talk about this a little bit more as we dig into, there's another video that we'll talk about. Additionally, a highlight of this is our transportation, where every tour is going to provide a scenic ride on the railway that extends from Anchorage to Fairbanks in the Wilderness Express rail cars. I'll show you some more images of that. They offer 360-degree views. From the dome windows, which are amazing. It's going to have reclining leather seats and spacious interiors. Then we'll also have local cuisine and things like that. So we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. So here are just some images that you're going to can expect. We've got the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge, the Denali Park Village. We've got the Hotel Alyeska, and of course, there's a view at the top there of the back of the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. That is just absolutely amazing, isn't it? That mountain range back there. Another reason to be talking about Alaska cruise tours with your guests is that we have a very high satisfaction rating on these. So over 40% of guests have filled out our guest survey, and we are getting for our tour directors a 9.48 rating on these cruise tour guides, tour directors. Uh, and that's because they're passionate about sharing about their home, bringing their seamless service and local knowledge, and the best of the interior, just like the slide says here, right? These are locals who know their stuff and they care, they love it, they want to share it with other people. So here's our Wilderness Express. You can see you've just got these amazing views. You can watch the eagles and the other birds. You can watch the wildlife from all around and really truly see the wilderness. The train route is going to there are different legs that you can do. So you've got the red line, that's a coastal classic. You can also see the blue line, that's the Glacier Discovery. That's going to be down kind of in that red area. And then of course the Denali Star is going to be from Anchorage to Fairbanks. So that's a nice long stretch with different segments that we will take at different points. Now, there are a few reasons that people are going to want to consider doing an Alaska cruise tour. And I think this video I'm going to show you, which is a little bit of a throwback to some Indiana Jones intros, um, is a humorous way to explain why you want to look at doing a cruise tour, right? Because you guys, most of you have been here at different points through different sessions. You know that I recently relocated from the US, right? And coming from the West Coast all the way over to the UK, that's a long trip home. I'm looking at flights to go home this summer, and the shortest flight I can do if I do a direct flight is like 9.5 hours. So it's not close to me, right? And that's true of Europe, right? It's not close, and I'm still a couple hours from getting to a up into Vancouver. So it's even a little bit longer than that. This is why you want to make sure that your guests are getting the full experience. They're not just cruising the coastline, right? But they get to see the interior of Alaska. So here's a good reason how it feels about flying to Seattle or Vancouver when you're going on Alaska cruise. How far are you going? Oh, you're bouncing around and getting all of the different destinations. Stopping here, stopping there, bouncing around. It just feels like you're traveling forever, right? It just feels like you're traveling forever. So adding on a little bit of extra time to make sure you're really truly taking advantage of the different features and benefits. So some of the things that you're going to experience in Alaska doing a cruise tour, of course, you're going to get to see Hubbard Glacier. This is actually the longest river of ice in North America. And it's also one of the most active glaciers of its kind in Alaska, and it's the only one that is advancing. So calving, which is where the big chunks of ice will fall off, like we talked about in our session last week, um, occurs every day. So you want to keep your ears and your eyes peeled for some chunks of ice to fall off. Just some fun facts for you about Hubbard Glacier. Did you know it's 76 miles long? It covers 1,350 square miles. It's a 350-foot high wall of ice. Interestingly enough, it moves at a speed of 11 meters per day, and the face of the glacier is 7 miles wide. It is the largest and most active advancing tidewater glacier in North America. And of course, the wildlife there, right? Humpback and orca whales are going to hang out in nearby coves, so you never know what you're going to see in the waters. And of course, our ships, including Radiance of the Seas, are designed to provide our guests with the best views possible. Radiance of the Seas is part of my Radiance class, which is made of acres of glass. You get to see this massive natural wonder from just about anywhere on the ship. Don't forget to pull your phones out and use your cameras. As the ship gets as close as possible to Hubbard Glacier, you guests have the opportunity to grab a spot outside, which is what I did, up on the helipad deck, on the top deck at the front of the ship. The captain turns the ship around a number of times so that everyone gets a chance to photograph and take in this magnificent sight. In the area, you might even be able to spot seals hanging out on the surrounding icebergs. So the trick is you want to remember to bring a coat and scarf because does get chilly, but we are going to provide the hot chocolate for you. So Fairbanks is endearingly nicknamed Alaska's Golden Heart. It's the city of Fairbanks that sits just 200 miles south of the Arctic Circle, and it's Alaska's second largest metropolis. You can pan for your own gold here. You can take a leisurely cruise down the Sheena River, or you can take off an amazing Arctic Circle flight seeing tour. There's summer and winter activities that abound on this trip, from refreshing hikes to dog mushing. You just might want to stay here. So when you're visiting Fairbanks, you can enjoy a number of different things like the Riverboat Discovery Sternwheeler or a tour of the Gold Dredge 8, which is on a narrow gauge track that winds through a reconstructed mining camp. You're surrounded by wilderness. You find nearby areas perfect for hiking, mountain biking, canoeing, skiing, camping, fishing, and more. So there's a ton of different amazing things to see and do and experience in Fairbanks. Of course, Denali National Park, without a question, is the main attraction in Alaska. Lots of people talk about wanting to go see the mountain, right? It is Alaska's most popular destination, which is why all of our cruise tours are going to visit Denali National Park and include a park tour. The park, which is slightly larger than the state of Massachusetts, is filled with wildlife. In your free time, you can discover some of the adventure sports that make Alaska unique, but some of our packages will also offer 2 nights in this amazing destination so you can explore even more of the park and its surroundings. Now, we do stay in the closest lodging to Denali National Park, there is no lodging inside the park. No one can stay in the park. So we do stay in Denali National Park Village, and that is the closest option. But then there's just a bunch of different opportunities here. Um, the Tundra Wilderness Tour, for example, is an excellent way to spot the wildlife that Alaska's famous for, like the moose, the bear, the wolves, the caribou, and the Dall sheep, just to name a few of the different wildlife options that you can see. The tour does focus on scouting out the wildlife in the park, which for me is always super fun, right? In addition to exploring the historical and geographical background of the area. In Talkeetna, this is known as a mountaineering town where thousands of people have come to climb Denali, which looms majestically in the background. Cruise tours to this quaint town are going to allow for plenty of time to explore the area and get to know this beautiful corner of Alaska. Um, After a full day of exploring around, you're going to return to the Talkeetna Alaska Lodge, which is a magnificent wilderness retreat. You can relax, enjoy the panoramic views of Denali and the Alaska Range while sitting in front of the 45-foot high stone fireplace. Remember, this is the one that had that image at the top of the slide a few slides ago where you've got just the gorgeous view. Also, you can enjoy exploring this classic example of a small Alaska town with narrow dirt roads lined with log cabins. So, lots of different fun things to do in this area. And then, of course, we do have Anchorage. Anchorage is the largest city in Alaska, and it's no accident that many of our cruise tours begin and end in this major metropolis. As locals say, Anchorage is great. It's only 20 minutes from Alaska. Here, you're going to find everything you would find in a city in the rest of the country, but it serves as a great introduction to Alaska, too. So, there's so much to do in Anchorage, we can never capture it all. But cruise tours visiting Anchorage usually provide guests with free time to explore on their own. You might want to check out some of the fun activities that we have available or discover something new on your own. After all, independence is the true spirit of Alaska. But some of the fun things that we offer is visiting the Alaska Native Heritage Center, which opened in 1999. And it's a state of the art center that features theaters, exhibitions, artists and artisans, a smokehouse, a carving center, and traditional village structures. Um, and you can learn about the Northern Lights, oil exploration, bears, and other local features at the Anchorage Museum in the Imaginarium Discovery Center, which is an awards winning hands on science gallery that's great for kids and adults alike. Alyeska. As you venture inland on an Alaska cruise tour, one of the most popular stops is in the town of Alyeska, Girdwood. Here you can see the beautiful Mount Alyeska and get a real taste for the great outdoors, Alaska style. Just 30 minutes south of Anchorage, this town is filled with dramatic views, fine dining restaurants, and historical charm. Originally called Glacier City, Girdwood's glacier tours and sights are truly breathtaking. You can experience Alaska in quintessential fashion with a tram ride 2,300 feet up Mount Alyeska for a view of the Turnagain Arm, which is an extension of the Cook Inlet. 7 different area glaciers, from fine dining restaurants high above the slopes to gold mining relics left behind from the turn of the century. This resort town is sure to make a lasting impression. Of course, there's also small shops in the nearby town of Girdwood. You can go kayaking or hayaking while taking in amazing picture perfect scenery, go paragliding, or my personal favorite idea is to take a sled dog trip through the surrounding glaciers, which are available year round. Seward, Alaska is, of course, the either debarkation from the cruise or the embarkation port for your cruise, depending on the northbound or southbound. But it's not only one of Alaska's oldest communities; it's also one of the most scenic. You can visit and discover this picturesque town, known as the gateway to the Kenai Fjords National Park, and you'll find a historic downtown district filled with quaint shops and art galleries and some of the most exciting outdoor adventures imaginable. Of course, when you're in Seward, you don't want to miss the Alaska Sea Life Center. This is going to feature local marine life and its natural habitat. Visitors get to learn about the complex Alaskan ecosystem while enjoying things like the antics of sea lions, otters, and porpoises. All right. And then I have another video for you guys because you all know I like my videos. If you have any questions about anything as we're going along, don't forget to drop them in the chat and Max will take care of that for you. But here's another video for you. Please, I apologize for the dubbing. It's very bad,
See
but the video is good.
Alaska in all its glory means covering great distances. And our guests travel on deluxe motor coaches along the roads of Alaska, complete with adjustable air vents, plenty of overhead storage, footrests, and a bathroom. It's travel in pure comfort. Each cruise tour has an assigned motor coach and designated driver for an average of 44 people, offering door-to-door service, including luggage delivery to the hotel room every day. So our guests travel in supreme comfort with the same friendly service for the duration of the land tour. The beauty of motor coach travel through the wilds of Alaska is the ability to stop and start. In other words, to respond to the opportunities to view and capture amazing photos of wildlife and wilderness. A highlight of every Alaska cruise tour is riding in the deluxe rail cars of the Wilderness Express, a fantastic way to travel in Alaska. In the glass-domed upper level, 80 persons sit comfortably, luxury wide leather seating, fully ADA accessible via an elevator, power ports, full bar service, the unobstructed views of the beautiful Alaskan landscape. Of course, your dedicated local escort travels with you, but also a rail car host is narrating the experience. It is an awesome day. And on the lower level, freshly prepared meals by an onboard chef with local ingredients can be enjoyed in the dedicated dining car with silver service. Or head to the outside observation platform for some fresh Alaskan air or a closer look at the wildlife. The Alaska Railroad links Seward on the coast with Anchorage and then extends north to Talkeetna, Denali, and Fairbanks. Every one of our Alaska cruise tours includes a rail experience that typically runs from 3 to 5 hours. Select cruise tours have a longer rail experience or multiple rail segments, but it's always a fabulous day. Luxury transportation, designed to highlight Alaska's spectacular scenery with personal service. That is the Royal Caribbean Alaska Cruise Tour difference.
All right. So, a few tips for you to remember when you're talking to someone about traveling to Alaska. Number one is the wilderness, because they get the opportunity to truly be surrounded by the magnificence of nature in Alaska. You really have to go into that interior area. Remember, if you're just doing the coastline, you're barely touching Alaska. Wildlife, getting the opportunity to see the big five, again, the moose, the bear, the wolves, etc., which is not going to be accessible from the coastline in the same way. Denali is the mountain. You want to be able to go see the mountain. And we do it on every single one of our cruise tours. Glaciers, which are going to be experienced on any Alaska cruise only or cruise tour option. And then distance. It is such a long way to go that you really want to make sure that you're having the best experience possible and really getting this once in a lifetime opportunity for some people. So wilderness, wildlife, mountain, glaciers, and distance are the things to remember about talk about. Some different ways to introduce a cruise tour into an Alaska conversation would be, what is it that you want to experience in Alaska? Where are you flying from, or where do you live, right? Are you willing to add a little bit of extra time on? Cruise tours are as short as 2 days all the way up to 7, or 2 nights all the way up to 7 nights that you can add on to really get an additional experience. Do you want to see bears or moose or other wildlife? You want to see the tallest peak in North America. That's a nice little item to get to check off for a lot of people. How many nights do you want for your Alaska vacation, for your Alaska holiday? And then is this a once in a lifetime vacation or holiday experience? So there are some different included experiences that you can expect on different cruise tours, depending on which one you choose. If you're going to Denali, you're going to see the Tundra Wilderness Tour or the Denali National History Tour, and of course the Wilderness Express Railway. Fairbanks is going to include the Riverboat Discovery and or the Gold Dredge 8. Seward might include the Resurrection Bay Wildlife Cruise or the Kenai Fjords National Park Cruise. And Anchorage has the Alaska Native Heritage Center. These are some banner experiences that are included. Additional included experiences in Anchorage includes the Imaginarium and Discovery Center. Fairbanks has a city highlights tour you can look at. Seward does the Sea Life Center, and Alyeska does the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. So, some things to remember with a cruise tour. Lodges are included, and these are going to be the finest lodges available. They're locally owned and operated where we can. The service is amazing. It's a fully escorted experience with a local adventure specialist and the dedicated uh, motor coach driver on a small group tour. So it's the same group the entire time. You're with the same people, you're with the same guide, the same driver, and the same adventure specialist to take care of you. And they really get to know what sort of things you or your customers want to do and experience. Of course, it is a dedicated deluxe motor coach per small group and a rail section of the Wilderness Express Rail. You're going to have different banner included experiences. So all cruise tours include at least one banner included experience. And there's time to explore on your own. So there's also that time built in. Now, there are a couple different resources that I want to share with you guys that you may not be aware of. We have this awesome website called Royal Caribbean Cruisetours.com. And I'm going to show you guys real quickly. Some of this is very geared towards North America, but there are some really nice videos in here that you can scroll down. This is the website here. You can come right down and see these different videos. There's also the cruise tour school down below that will talk about this stuff. So if you want more information, Royal Caribbean Cruisetours.com is the place to go for that. Additionally, go to royalcaribbean.com and you can click on plan a cruise and then destinations, and then you can choose Alaska, and that will get you into this, or just royalcaribbean.com/Alaska dash cruises. All right. Thank you, Max. I appreciate you dropping that link in the chat. He'll drop this other one for us as well, so you guys have both of those available. Those are going to be some great resources for you guys to take advantage of. Go look around. There's, like I said, there's some great videos in there. It's going to talk to you about the different cruise tours and what's included on them, where you go, what you see. Talking about an Alaska cruise tour with your customers is really a great opportunity to make sure they're getting a fantastic experience. And just for fun, I'm going to pull up my QR code for you guys to scan. I'd love to get your feedback. But while you guys are doing that, I'm going to say, additionally, cruise tours increase your commissions because you're increasing the cost of the cruise, sometimes as much as double. So it is really a great opportunity to look at that because it is absolutely great for your pocketbook as well as giving your customers the best experience of Alaska. So again, I would love it if you guys can fill out my training feedback. I would love to hear what you thought about the Alaska cruise tour. Was this what you wanted to know? Did this help you? Remember, you can fill these out even after we do the session. So if you're watching this back on the recording, please feel free to pop in and do this survey as well. I did drop the link in the chat for you if that is easier for you. And then stay tuned because we do have a few more sessions coming up. So tomorrow morning, that's 9 a.m. UK time, so it's a little bit later than today's was, or a little bit earlier, excuse me, an hour earlier. Myself and Dave Humphreys, who is the sales director of Australia, is going to be joining me. He's going to be sharing about some of his experiences. So Alaska, New Zealand, and South Pacific information. And then we've got Europe 2025. That is next week. That will be at 10 a.m. again. That will be me and Alberto from our Italian market. And then we've got our trade pre-cruise planner presentation that's coming up. We are still working on finalizing the host for that, so we'll let you know that as soon as possible. And of course, we are going to have trends in sales once again with me, and Gianni will be joining me this time, who is the AVP for the EMEA region. So we look forward to having you guys. Thanks so much for being here. I hope that you've learned something new about Alaska Cruise Tours, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next session. Thanks so much, you guys, and have a great day.